prior to their regular monthly meeting at the Shandaken Town Hall located at 7209 State Route 28, Shandaken, New York, regarding the granting a cable television franchise agreement by and between the Town of Shandaken and Spectrum Northeast LLC, an indirect subsidiary of Charter Communications. A copy of the agreement is available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Town Clerk's office, 7209 State Route 28, Shandaken, New York, as well as the town website, www.shandaken.us. At such public hearing, all persons will be given an opportunity to be heard. Written and oral statements will be taken at that time. But I don't think we need to impose limitations, but we could.
Thank you, Joyce.
That's it.
Well, I have not much to report about our conversations with Charter, Spectrum. We're still wrangling, and we may end up leaving the old franchise agreement as it is, but it's not going to get worse. Yeah, but it may not get better either. So we're having a little difficulty finding a compromise at this point, but so there's nothing new to report. I pushed towards some of our beneficial agreements or thoughts about how far from a main road and how many a saturation of houses, and they were pushing towards a smaller franchise fee. So no compromise yet, no agreement yet.
I mean, perhaps worth noting, as mentioned in the last meeting, we did look at the contracts of other neighboring areas.
Yep.
The one that they proposed to us did not appear to be as favorable as that offered to some of the neighboring communities. And so I think the hope would be to get at least as favorable as some of our neighboring townships.
Well, some parts of the neighboring townships, which are more favorable, are less favorable in other sections. So it's trying to find a happy median.
Is your microphone on? There's a light. Some of the lights don't work sometimes. Like this one.
The chair's broken, but my mic works.
Hold up all the extra paper.
There is that one that keeps floating around.
It's mine tonight.
Yours tonight.
Last one.
I brought your papers up.
So you want to close the public hearing, or public meeting, whatever this is?
Actually, yes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have a few minutes before the main meeting.
October 13th, 1 o'clock. I'm in.
Nice.
You can't ditch me that easy. Actually, you could. No, it wouldn't take much.
Yes. So you wait for it at the end? At the end of the meeting? Yeah, sure. I'll get it to him.
Okay, I made it out.
Threading the needle. Okay.
Wait, why? Why did
If we had known ahead of time, we could have spoken earlier.
I wasn't sure what the procedure was, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And what's your name?
I'm Donald Carraher.
Caraher?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Donald.
Hi. I hope we're in into a gift.
I hope so too.
Like those. Oh, Colleen just sent me a flyer. 4, Rob. For that.
Kitchen deck. Ready on stuff. It just started. So 24 by 12. 26 by 16. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Got them sunk down or are they floating?
They're down. Same one. 54 inches. Solid cement tubes. Big floor. Polymers or something. I was like, you can just do these tubes. She's like, nah, we'll do the ones that float. It's like a house is fall.
Yeah, we were not expecting to be that busy.
That's what everybody's saying.
I wasn't working.
Lots of people were gonna go.
Anything in particular? Because everybody did.
And I just showed up.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get food and ended up working.
I swear, it was 10. It's just, I just feel like every time I'm there, then why am I not here?
This time it's closer for me.
It is.
That's stupid, but.
Yeah, but if we got two places cases, that's equally expensive.
It's, yeah, and actually, it's reciprocal.
I think actually schools is
Well, you had people flying up on
education.
it. I was behind you.
Probably
Five
like
cars.
They're driving up.
Yeah, you know, driving out. And those three trucks.
Yeah, that's always, that's a very small.
That's just a driveway.
60. Oh, 61. I could just want to look around and install it. And he was, at every stop sign, I go, it was never more than, it's happening in front of me.
And usually equipment is in construction.
No, I know. I drive that road.
I think,
It's always 66 per hour.
union.
Safe road to pass.
How did one
The Main Street, Phoenicia, having,
I don't know if it was just because of,
doubling
and,
30 mile an hour speed.
but it did,
34.
and
She's speeding in the 30s.
that's not even,
I'm speeding.
I'm sorry, the sales tax.
Right.
Actually, this year,
Take a picture of this thing, come on.
being conservative,
Right.
and
Chad, thanks.
I'm being conservative with the mortgage tax.
Does that only happen when there's a new mortgage?
When there's a new mortgage,
So do we expect that there's only gonna be a lot of new mortgages like this next year?
well, it was that much more than last year, so I was expecting a good amount. I see. Oh, all right. Guess it's time to start.
That wasn't obvious enough.
Resume. Stand for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Board Member Drake?
Here.
Board Member Nysel?
Here.
Board Member Steen?
Here.
Board Member Van Blarkum?
Here.
Supervisor DeSclafani?
Here. Have a motion to approve last month's minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Financial report. Zoning fees, $380. Police fees, $30. Ambulance fees, $9,491, 17 cents. Town clerk fees, Easy Pass, $110. Franchise fees, $17,390 and 21 cents. Building permit fees, $8,067.40. Dog licenses, $41.50. Planning board fees, $300. HV SBA rental cell tower, $1,379.95. Sales tax Ulster County, $106,110.23. Arch reimbursement, that's insurance, $2,532.60. Vital statistics, $88. Ambulance donation, $100. Highway, $91,346.80. STR receivables, $24,259.12, for a total of $260,626.98. Communications, Joyce?
What? I know. That's good. We're gonna go on the show with our. the regular
Anyway,
show.
Supervisors Notes.
Okay, go ahead, do yours first.
Welcome to fall. This month, we are mostly preparing for next year's budget. I've received from all the departments their expected revenues and expenditures. I'm submitting to the town board a tentative budget that, once accepted, will be our preliminary budget. Out of experience, we are not expecting it, but we'll pass a law that allows us to exceed the tax cap this year, and the cap is generally 2%. We've had some revenue shortages from what might be expected, fuel and electric, but also insurance too. But we've made some of that up by higher than expected revenues from sales tax and mortgage taxes, and the additional STR fees. All of this has allowed us to increase our important secretary staff salaries. The Pine Hill local flood analysis is still working, and we'll shoot for a last public meeting in the middle of November. Election day is on November 8th, and because of that, we'll put our town board meeting the day after. We'll also have our budget public hearing right before that, the regular town board meeting. And we're still working on the Spectrum Charter franchise agreement. Okay, Joyce,
I'm sorry, I'm
communications.
ready now, yes. This Saturday, Phoenicia Supermarket Cruisin', 2 to 6 p.m., right by the supermarket. Bring your classic car, truck, bike, or a new ride and join the fun with food, drinks, and trophies. Call Frank at 845-254-4238. Also in Pine Hills, their block party all day from 10 to 4. There'll be food, drinks, live music, a book sale, vendors, and family fun. The community center will be open, and the library will have, I assume they're gonna have the book sale. Something Wicked This Way Comes, Pine Halloween, October 31st, 3 to 7 p.m. on Main Street in Pine Hill. The Scarecrow Contest is on again this year. If you'd like to decorate a, scarecrow, a group of you, a family, one person, you can contact Sam at the bank, Ulster Savings, and email at Phoenicia, rotaryny@gmail.com. Phoenicia Fun Day, with Scarecrow judging and everything, and you're gonna have cash prizes, is October 22nd, 11 to 4 on Church Street. And the Phoenicia Playhouse, there'll be a reading on the porch, there'll be a Fire District 50/50 raffle, pumpkin paintings, Halloween mass decorating, live music. And last but not least is the trunk or treat at the Phoenicia School, and that will be before the parade that starts at 2 p.m. on Saturday, October 29th. The rain date is gonna be Sunday the 30th, led by the Phoenicia Fire Department. Free for all ages, lots of candy, costumes, and fun car decorations. Safe way for kids to trick or treat. That's it.
Thanks, Joyce. Committee reports. Ambulance?
Town of Shandaken ambulance report, September 2022. Total calls received 44, mutual aid given 3, Town of Olive 2, Town of Lexington 1. Mutual aid received 0. Although it is not our specific forte, Fire Prevention Week runs from October 9th to October 15th. A little known fact is that Fire Prevention Week was established to commemorate the Great Chicago Fire, the tragic 1871 conflagration that killed more than 250 people, left 100,000 homeless, destroyed more than 17,400 structures, and burned more than 2,000 acres. Fire departments nationwide take this week in particular to convey important fire safety messages, particularly to school-age children and high-risk populations. This year's focus is on having a safety plan in case of a fire, and the webpage for the National Fire Protection Association's website, www.nfpa.org, provides a plethora of safety information for families, teachers, and the fire service alike. Be sure to visit the website and check with our local fire departments for specific events that are scheduled. Also, the most wonderful time of the year at the supervisor's office is upon us as well. Budget time. As the long-needed employee contract is nearing completion, contractual expenditures are accounted for in the draft budget. As many surrounding towns can attest, the ambulance service that we receive here is a bargain compared to other areas within the county. The ambulance is also the town's only 24/7 service with 3 individuals working at all times. COVID update. As of 10/3, there are 2 active cases of COVID in the town of Shandaken. Total cumulative cases in the town since the beginning of the pandemic have reached 374, with 371 recovered. There is still only 1 fatality accounted for in the town. There are 350 active cases of COVID in Ulster County at this time, with cumulative cases in the county reaching 49,526. There are a total of 396 cumulative fatalities since the beginning of the pandemic in the county, and a total of 48,780 individuals recovered. Stay safe out there. Richard Muller-Liley, Chief of Department, Shandaken Ambulance.
Thanks, Kyle. Building zoning, Grace, anything? Okay. Police, Kevin?
We have Sergeant Sharon.
My name's Tom Sharon. For those
Oh,
who
Tom.
don't know me, I'm a sergeant. Chad's story, the chief couldn't be here tonight, so I'll read it. We had 166 calls for service. We had 379 property checks that our members conducted. We issued 26 summons last month, and we had 3 arrests, 2 of which were DWIs.
Thanks, Tommy.
No problem.
Anything for Phoenicia Water, Rick?
Well, I'm still waiting to get just one pump. We don't have the money. But when we run out of water, I'll be the first one that they'll come after. They won't worry about you. And I had a meeting at my office the other day with the Ulster County engineer, DPW, and the bridge is gonna be coming down on Bridge Street. They're gonna change that within the next year and a half. I guess it's moved about 9 inches. And the water line that we just put in for $220,000 about 5 years ago now is gonna have to be temporarily put there and then replaced again.
Right.
So this is gonna be added expense. Hopefully we'll get some money to pay for these things. I'm aware, but we have to get some money. And then the loop, they talked about the loop, where we get better pressure and going over the Woodland Valley Bridge. So in case we have a flood where the bridge goes out, one of them, they'll still have water on High Street,
Right.
which the way it is right now, if that line goes, there's no water on, I have the other pump house over there, but I have to use that with discretion, and they don't want me to use it, it's not filtered water,
Right.
so.
It was the engineer there, Mark Carabata, at that meeting?
Yes, from,
Okay. SLR?
yes.
Yes.
He was there, and George, they had a link, and George, who knows the system, we've just been waiting for money,
Right.
which, hopefully we can get here. I don't know how much longer these pumps are gonna, they've been going for 19 years,
Yeah.
and, we'll see.
Well, the one you just had reworked, right?
No, that was for the, infiltration gallery. I'm talking about the pumps that pump it out into the system.
Okay.
These pumps have been running for 18, 19 years. They're German pumps though, which is a good thing. But, we'll see.
Thank you, Rick. Museum, Kyle?
Shandaken Historical Museum Report for September 2022. September has been exciting. September is usually a time when our number of visitors lessens. This year, we can add approximately 50 families to our 33 signatures in our guest book. Our metal detecting friends, the Nor'easters, joined us in the search for history that is buried by time. These families stayed in our lodgings, ate in our restaurants, and shopped in our stores, making September 10th and 11th profitable for all of Shandaken. It was a great time. They loved it. They found mercury dimes, buffalo nickels, many silver coins, some jewelry, pocket knives, whistles, a hearth arm found at the oldest home in Phoenicia, the Amhe House, is now in our downstairs display area next to our coal forge. A hearth arm was used for cooking in the fireplace. It would swing out and you could place your cauldron on the hooked end and swing it back into the fireplace. A wonderful piece of history to recover from the ground. We all are looking forward to having them back next year. I continue to maintain our social media presence and have numerous followers and great reviews. Our new friend, I'm not sure if it's Ceci or Cece.
It's Ceci.
Ceci Cecilia Davidson is researching the Underground Railroad as it pertains to Allie's General Store, which was moved to Big Indian from Bushnellsville. We are assisting her in her endeavor. She is a published author and grant writer. I believe this will lead to some positive and informative history being revealed. Maybe she'll get a historic grant or write a book sharing and preserving our history. We have also shared Pine Hill flood history with Mike Sherpier, project water resource engineer from SLR Consulting, Inc., to aid in the flood analysis report being done for Pine Hill. Unfortunately, we are still waiting for the return of our contractor, Vinnie Sorbolini. The time he allotted for us was used up and other clients' jobs were next in line, so we're last on the list, and currently we are looking for a plumber and a contractor/handyman who can install a hot water heater and a dehumidifier that needs to be vented to an outside drain or recycled into our system if that's possible. Plus, the gutters on the back of our building never were installed either. Not to mention the list of smaller repairs we have yet to address. Most recently, the ceiling in the girls' bathroom is peeling from a water leak that we were told was fixed, but apparently not completely. I remain overwhelmed with work and in need of an assistant or volunteers to help in so many areas. Our collections room is overflowing. Our furnace room was put in our shed, so we have an empty room we can't use until the previously mentioned work, hot water heater and dehumidifier, are properly installed. Then maybe we can organize and move forward. Soon the weather will stop the work till spring. Kathleen Myers, Director.
Should I put something on Facebook for volunteers for the museum?
Be great, thanks, Joyce.
Do you want an STR update?
Kevin, Parks and Rec?
Sure. There's nothing new to report other than Samantha Awan took over the duties of committee chair. There was no meeting last month, but we will be meeting. Normally it'd be second Monday of the month, but next month probably third Monday.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yep.
Okay, any comments on resolutions coming up?
Did you want that update first?
Did
I know they're waiting, people are waiting to hear how many STRs we have.
STR update.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
give us an STR.
Okay, so the update on processed absent owners for short-term rentals is 141, and owner occupied are 32.
Thanks, Joyce.
Yep.
All right, now we're open for public comments from resolutions. Rob?
I didn't have a chance to devour this budget yet. I'd just like to ask why, Peter, you feel you deserve a $4,000 raise for the exemplary job you've done this year.
3,000.
Seems like 7%. 3,000. Why do you deserve a $3,000?
Working hard. Think the job deserves it, whoever does it.
Get caught up
I'd
to
like to ask also, is there a resolution tonight for a purchase of a truck for Rick? I understand that the original truck that you did not have a resolution for, that you were called out for at a public meeting, where you purchased it, registered it, had it driving around for 2 weeks, and then I had to remind you you needed a resolution. I understand that truck was inspected and not road ready.
Exactly.
Fault, Rob. It's not his. That is not your fault, that is his fault. No, it's he signed the check for the truck, he purchased the truck for you from a private lender, did not have the truck inspected, and now the Phoenician Water District is out that money
for that truck, they're gonna have to recoup it, but you think you've done a service to this town?
They
You've done
will,
a disservice to
they will
taxpayers
recoup
and
the
Finnish
money.
taxpayers.
They are not out the money.
Excuse me?
They are not out the money. They will recoup it.
How?
Rick has said that he would
When they
pay for
auction
it. And it's not auctioned, no, not yet.
You're not gonna auction?
Well, we probably will. We're working on auction materials, but right now Rick is working with the prior owner in trying to get it returned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the frame is shot, I took it over for.
Yeah, but so we purchased the truck for the town that was signed for a check by this gentleman without being approved by the town board. That was not inspected. I wouldn't buy a truck without checking and not telling my wife.
$5,000, what are you gonna?
I'm here, I'm not arguing with you, Rick. I'm here to ask why Peter feels that just that singular move, there's other things there. That singular move of that loss, you feel you've done a great job to deserve a $3,000 raise?
Yes.
It's interesting.
Anything else, Rob?
There's no other resolutions?
Anything else? Okay.
See you guys.
Anyone else have comment on resolutions? All right, let's start. Okay.
I think,
So, do we want to table it, or, because we're establishing the meeting, so we need a motion, right?
yeah, I believe this would be an appropriate time I believe the town board wishes to have a working meeting on the budget.
Oh, yes, right.
Perhaps October 13th at 1 PM is the time that we may be available.
Works for Ellen.
Works for me.
Yes, and let's do that, and we'll put off the preliminary budget, and we'll do that on October 13th, but we'll do that, well, I make the motion that we table the preliminary to, the tentative to the preliminary budget.
Well, so perhaps the first motion to create the working meeting on October
Excuse me,
13th.
why are you postponing?
They want to talk about the budget.
Oh, okay.
The town board
Have
wants
a
to talk
workshop?
about the
So you want
budget.
to have a workshop, budget
And we
workshop?
want to have a budget workshop.
Budget workshop.
So we'll do that on, I'll make the motion that we have the working budget workshop on,
Seconded.
or you did that, okay.
Yeah.
All in
October
favor?
13th, what time?
At 1 o'clock.
All right.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then
Make the motion to table, resolutions 117.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then that's gonna be the same date for the tax cap, right?
That'll be the same date as the tax cap.
Yeah,
We'll
we
do
already have that, so I'll change it, make
Perfect.
sure it's right.
On to resolutions. Resolution 11622, resolution to pay all bills. Whereas the Department of Audit and Control require town boards to sign and inspect all vouchers coming into the town for payment to numbered total amounts from each fund. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board authorize the following vouchers paid. General, $225,930.30. Highway, $199,796. Phoenicia Water, $7,851.04. Pine Hill Water, $3,410.35. Phoenicia Lights, $1,342.60. Chichester Lights, $206.79. Pine Hill Lights, $873.85, for a total of $439,410.93, and move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Drake?
yes.
Board Member Niesel?
Yes.
Niesel, oh God. Board Member Steen?
Yes.
Board Member Blarkum?
Yes.
Supervisor DeScalani?
Yes.
Resolution number 118-22, set public hearing on 2023 preliminary town budget. Whereas a public hearing is held every year for the purpose of hearing all those in favor or against the adoption of the preliminary budget for the town of Shandaken as the annual budget. Therefore, be it resolved, the town board of the town of Shandaken will meet and review the 2023 preliminary budget and hold a public hearing thereon at the Shandaken Town Hall on Wednesday, November 9th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m., preceding the regular monthly meeting. And at such hearing, any person may be heard in favor or against the preliminary budget as compiled, or for or against any items or items therein contained, and move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Drake?
Yes.
Board Member Niesel?
Yes.
Board Member Steen?
Yes.
Board Member Blarkum?
Yes.
Supervisor DeScalani?
Yes. Resolution 11922, resolution approving public assembly permit for the Phoenicia Turkey Trot. Whereas the Town of Shandaken Town Board, under Section 59 of the Town of Shandaken Code, has the sole authority to approve applications for the purpose of a public assembly in excess of 500 people, 500 persons, and whereas the town board recognizes the benefit of a public events to the economy, to the town, and also recognizes the necessity to provide adequate protections and a safe environment for its residents, participants alike. Whereas the town is in receipt of a documentation illustrating compliance under law, providing the necessary insurance, permits, security, parking, lighting, sanitation, emergency and evacuation requirements. And whereas the town board is satisfied with the application from the Phoenicia Turkey Trot for their event to be held in Phoenicia on Saturday, November 26th, 2022, from 7 a.m. until 4 p.m. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of Shandaken Town Board hereby approves the permit for a public assembly to the Phoenicia Turkey Trot for their event, that a certified copy of the resolution shall suffice as the approval certificate. And I move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Drake?
Yes.
Board Member Nysel?
Yes.
Board Member Steen?
Yes.
Board Member Barkum?
Yes.
Supervisor DeSclafani?
Yes.
Resolution 120-22, resolution setting public hearing and special meeting. Whereas the town of Shandaken has business to attend to in a timely manner regarding the town budget. Whereas the town foresees the possible need of exceeding the New York State tax cap within its 2023 budget. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Shandaken Town Board does hereby call for a public hearing and special meeting on the tax cap issue, local law number 3, 2022, to exceed the New York State tax cap to be held on
So we have October 13th.
October 13th at,
1
1
p.m.
p.m.
well, I believe we just did.
That's
1
Thursday.
p.m.
Yeah, Thursday.
2.
So Thursday,
Thursday.
October 13th at 2 p.m.
Okay,
I wrote 1 p.m.
2:30. Well, the other one is at 1.
Right, so,
Let's do
Oh,
1:30.
I see. Oh, I got you.
You think
Oh,
we
okay.
need more than half an hour?
1:30, right?
I think it,
Yeah,
to
give
give
it
it,
2 o'clock. Okay.
yeah, I think 2 o'clock. So,
Okay.
to
Alright.
exceed the New York State tax cap to be held on Thursday, October 13th, 2022, at 2 p.m. at the Shandaken Town Hall, 7209 Route 28, Shandaken, New York, to hear all those in favor and against such actions and move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Drake?
Yes.
Board Member Nysel?
Yes.
Board Member Steen?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarkum?
Yes.
Supervisor DeSclafani?
Yes.
Resolution number 121, Ulster County Liaison Environmental Management Council. Whereas under Section 20 of the town law, the town board shall designate all appointed officers and employees of the town. Therefore, be it resolved that Robert Crookshank be appointed as Shandaken Liaison to the Ulster County Environment Management Council at no compensation, and move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Drake?
Yes.
Board Member Nysel?
Yes.
Board Member Steen?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarkum?
Yes.
Supervisor DeSclafani?
Yes.
Resolution 12222, Town Deputy Clerk. Whereas under Section 20 of the town law, the town board shall designate all appointed officers and employees of the town. Therefore, be it resolved that the town deputy clerk, Angela Galindo, be paid the additional 21 hours per week at $14 per hour, not to exceed December 31st, 2022, and move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Drake?
Yes.
Board Member Nysel?
Yes.
Board Member Steen?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarkum?
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, this is the first I heard about it was when we saw the agenda.
Right.
Why are we,
We're doing it late, to be honest. She started, we had to give her extra hours when the law passed.
so it's already happened?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
She's doing the STR stuff.
She's working the
which
extra
is-
hours instead of the 2 that Patty worked, because we did, we put in advertisements to look for other secretaries, I shouldn't say girls, secretaries at the time, earlier in the
Okay.
year, before the law passed. The only one we got was Olivia. She could only work 3 days a week. That office could not do this at all.
So this is
So
just
our
to
office
cover
did.
STR
This is just to cover her.
workload?
Yep, and that comes out of STR.
And it ends
And
through the end of the
it'll
year.
end that, yeah.
This is
Okay.
just
And
to
then
the end
goes
of the
back
year.
to part-time
But-
next year.
But next year, it's still part-time. It'll be 4 days next year. This year, she's been doing 4 and 5 days, but a lot of,
Yeah, she put in the budget for that because there's still gonna be paperwork, there's tons of paperwork, and she's
Yeah.
gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
it's not
but,
full-time though.
You know,
Okay, sure.
I mean, I suppose Olivia was gonna see if she could work 2 more days, but I still, with all the building and, zoning,
So it's just additional help
it's
with
overwhelming.
STR.
It's for the STR, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she could still do clerk and notarize in between, but that's basically, and then you figure January's gonna be tax time too, so to have this, it's gonna be a burden.
All right.
Oh, Van Blarkum.
Yes.
I do not. Di Scafani.
Yes. Okay, we're open for public comment.
You're up. I told you you'd almost fall asleep.
I wasn't sure just how public comment is.
You're the
waiting his
public.
turn.
You're the public.
Good evening, thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Donald Caraher, and I am an elder of the Shandaken Reformed Church at Mount Tremper, and we're closing.
Oh,
So I have been in touch with Mary Lou Stapleton, and she's the president of your historical society.
you've been there quite a long time, haven't you?
Yes, the church started in 1854.
I mean, you personally?
No,
No?
no, I've been there for 12 years.
12 years.
So I am an elder, but I have been, the congregation doesn't have a minister for financial reasons, which continue to develop. But I've been acting as the pastor
Okay.
for the congregation. The building is in good shape, and it's very historical for the area. As all of you, I'm sure, are familiar with the picture book. Okay, we're on page 41. And if you read the opening of the book and you see all the settlers, which apparently started in Mount Pleasant, next to Mount Tremper, the names of those farms are the same in the history of the church when it was started. And I don't live here. I actually live in the town of Esopus.
Okay.
And I'm active in that community, but like I said, I've been here for 12 years. I would just hate to think that it's going to possibly become somebody's summer home or an Airbnb or something torn down and make for convenient parkings to go fishing in the stream. Like I said, the building's 1854. It's been, is that 1804? Is that the founding of
Yes.
Shandaken? Okay, so you were 50 years old when that building was put together. And it wasn't even built there. If some of you know, it used to be the corner church further up the road. And it was moved there, and then when the hall was built, that was the National Grange for this area. There's a ton of history in the place. I just don't want to see it lost. So I don't have anything more to tell you than that. The church does revert as property back to the classis of the Mid-Hudson in the Reformed Church in America, and they will, that's my annoying phone. But they will be making the decisions as to what's going to happen with the property, and I can't offer you anything, but I just thought that the town should be aware that the building's in good shape. The roof is practically new. The furnace has been maintained and replaced. It's got good water by virtue of the fire department up the hill. And it's got a parking lot and it's got a great view.
So do you think they donate it to the town?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would do.
Maybe-
There is,
Yeah.
well, there
Nice.
is some
We could
precedent
use
for
a-
that historically.
Yeah.
Because there was an Esopus church, Reformed church on Route 9W, that had been closed back in 1965 when everybody seemed to be living somewhere else. That church, it took 10 years, but that church did eventually become the museum for the Klein Esopus Museum for the town of Esopus.
Well, we already got a museum we can't afford.
How many
Big
square
Well,
feet?
I know
Yeah,
that.
but we can't get the
Yeah.
handyman.
What's the
But you know, it's in Pine Hill.
But we don't
which is
have an
like
eastern
way over that
outpost.
way.
Yeah, we got one down there.
And Mount Tremper is like way over that way,
Yeah.
so you have both sides of the town covered.
What's the square footage?
Pardon
Do
me?
you know the square footage off
It's
the top?
probably about 1,800 square feet.
I couldn't tell you that. I don't know. I was writing sermons, I didn't do a lot of measuring.
No, you're good.
But anyway, but thank you for your time. If you have any questions or if you would like access to the congregation, I mean to the building to walk through, please let me know.
What's your,
I'll
you
be.
give me your contact number if you want, or is it in
Yeah.
there?
Lynn Byron also involved there?
Yeah,
Okay.
Lynn's there.
Yeah.
Okay, with Teddy.
Lynn and Teddy, yeah.
Yeah, we know them very well. They've been members previously, long time.
Right.
Okay. My contact number is 914.
Do you want to put that over
Yeah, don't worry about it.
live TV?
It's on the board. You can
It's not
call
on
the phone
Facebook,
again.
so don't worry, we'll be
We just saw him,
fine.
he hasn't answered.
914, yep,
914-213-4175.
yep. And how do you spell your last name?
Carraher, C-A-R-R,
Well, I had that wrong.
A.
C-A-R-R.
C-A-R-R-A-G-H-E-R, and I live in St. Remy.
Gotcha.
You weren't even
Thank
close,
you.
were you?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, Molly.
You haven't seen my face for a few months.
Welcome
Oh,
back.
thank you.
Nice to see you.
You can blame the planning board because they said they can't help us anymore, and they said, go to the town board. So we're here. So,
We welcome you every month.
yeah, I know. So, I think I just wanted to talk briefly about our feelings in Mount Tremper about the role of the county with Rail Explorer. I'd been looking over old emails from 2019 between Rail Explorer's Chris White, who worked for the planning department, and myself and my mother. So that was over 3 years ago. And that was the last mitigation effort made by the county and the last communication from the county with any of us in Mount Tremper. So when Chris left the planning board, it seems so did the care of the county. And in one of the emails, and I'm going to give you a copy, so quoted from Chris White to the owners of rail bikes, please remember that the county has gone to great lengths to accommodate your needs, including retroactively reimbursing you $5,000 for capital project items that you were not pre-approved as required in the permit, and therefore could have been denied. Our residents are now quite upset, so I think the wisest course of action is to tone down our respective frustrations and install a solid fence as soon as possible. So I'm sorry, I didn't say that these emails are about how the fence got built by my property. And so Chris White had stepped in. There's a lot of emails, we had meetings, and again in a further email, he said the county supports Molly and Diane's decision, which is reasonable and consistent with promises made last year. As I noted previously, the county would consider the expense of the fence a capital improvement eligible for the $5,000 annual capital deduction from your annual use fee. That is the last time there has been any mention of any money put aside from the county to mitigate the effects from rail explorers. So I think, the way that we feel is we feel like there's been, a good amount of support from the town of Shandaken, but our concern really is about where the county is and how do we get the county to listen to us. I'm getting there. Article 7 in their lease or permit 7.1 says, no adverse impact to county and general public. The permittee, Rail Explorers, shall conduct all operations on the property in a manner that does not adversely impact the county, the general public, adjacent property owners, or the host communities. They have extremely had a negative impact on adjacent property owners. And we've been coming to you year after year. So I think there's a lot I could say about how I feel about the business and the impacts, but I think you've all heard it all, and you've read it all in emails. So now our focus is really on how do we get through to the county. If they have not shown any care or interest in 3 years, what's going to be the difference now? So we're coming to you hoping that maybe you can do some kind of official letter from Shandaken saying that you support mitigation efforts to be done for your residents, your taxpaying residents. It doesn't mean you're not also supporting rail bikes in the area, but you're equally supporting, maybe some kind of formal letter, but I just don't think it's just the planning department. I think it needs to go to the broader, the county executive. We need to get all of the county to pay attention to what's going on. And also, I'm sure you might have heard, but I was not happy when I found out that they were gluing, using adherent to the train tracks. And I don't know if they got permission. I feel like there's been zero oversight from the county, but I know you have no oversight, almost no oversight either.
And
So-
those emails with the photos that you sent me, you sent them to Dennis also? And did he ever respond?
No, we've had no response from him, the planning department. I called the Ulster County legislator, and she forwarded it to people that she felt. When I called up another place, he said, I'll get back to you with the right people to talk about it with. And it was, again, back to Dennis Doyle and the planning department.
And what was it, last week that they were gluing the rubber on there?
Yeah, and after I got all those emails out, they took the rubber off, but on one section of the rail, they clearly used a different kind of adherent that is now stuck to the rail. It's thick, it sticks up, I don't know what it is.
Did they take it off because it fell off, or did they take it
Well,
off?
so I have video of the bikes going over it. And here's another example. Their staff is in front of the bikes and behind the bikes, so they
right.
have no idea what's going on. In all caution, they should have had a staff member standing there watching. It was, as far as I'm concerned, the first run.
Yeah.
So there was a section where they tried this other adherent, which I said you can't get off, it's all sticking up.
Right, right.
And so when the bikes went over that, you could hear like a rattling, and then when they hit the rubber, which was maybe 40 feet,
Yeah.
total silence. Total.
Right.
Which just shows you what we're looking for and what's possible. But gluing rubber to the track is defacing the rails. And if they did not have permission, that's wrong. They don't own the tracks. It may go back to the train one day. It's also probably a toxic substance. So
I understand that, but also on the other hand, it was quiet,
it was quiet, but it's not a fix. It's like
Right. a Band-Aid, I
it's
understand.
a Band-Aid, and it's not
Not a
practical,
very-
and there's no way the rubber would have stayed. It wasn't staying anyway. You could go right up and pull it right up.
Yeah.
So it does show to me that they're aware of how we feel, and that they know themselves that it's extreme noise pollution.
Well, they are, I know for a fact that they're aware of how you feel.
Yeah,
And I'm slightly a little heartened that they're at least trying to mitigate the
Right.
noise issue.
I would be too, except it's the last month of their 6-year contract.
Yeah, yeah.
And there has been no attempt at all in 3 years to reach out.
I know,
mean,
and even last year, last November, when they were at the planning board, they
Yeah.
were saying they wanted to do things, but that they didn't have a signed contract yet for the
Right.
next 5 years. So they were worried about expending any money before having the contract, as if they wouldn't get it, but
Well, they also wanted to invest $100,000 in a steel flower tunnel over those same tracks. And the owner said to Dennis Doyle with a pat on the shoulder, I'm sorry, I'm being like, she said, we have no problem spending that money.
yeah.
So if you're willing to spend $100,000 on a flower tunnel, why don't you listen to us and just get the synthetic wheels?
Yeah.
You know, we've researched them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. It makes
we
the-
know. And the problem with the rubber is it immediately slowed down the bikes. They immediately went like,
Oh, of course, of course.
So the synthetic tires are not rubber. They're synthetic.
They're poly,
They
yeah, I
might be,
saw
and they
that.
probably won't be as quiet as the rubber on the tracks. But
Right.
you can't deface train tracks. They don't belong to this one company. They, you know, they're
Right.
historic. And
Well,
that
I think-
damage, you know.
I mean, I understand how they might be seen as defaced, but I think they seem to be
I would go-
impervious to any
They
kind
would,
of.
but this stuff is still stuck on there and
Yeah,
it's sticking up. So it's right across from the Mount Pleasant apartment houses,
Yeah,
if you want to take a look.
I will
And,
do that.
so
Yes,
that,
I'm pushing for the synthetic wheels or the poly wheels that are available.
but we need more, you know, we need fences, we need some gardening, we need a modified schedule a little bit. We need to be part of the contract negotiation. So we're not stopping with you. We're trying to get our own message through to the county.
Good.
And we're trying to get media attention, but the media uses them as advertisements, so they're not calling us back either. So,
Right.
you know, we're right there. It's like a month or two away before they start that process. And Sue, if you want to say, and here's a list of 6 property owners that would be happy to be part of any conversation.
Okay, thank you.
I really would just really appreciate if you could send any kind of letter to the county supporting us, We need your support as taxpayers, and that's what we're looking for.
We'll write a letter of support.
Please do. I mean, because obviously this is about money. This Band-Aid on the tracks was so oblivious, you know, it's like, really? I mean, I don't know anything about it, but I have made with my partner, you know, we put together wood to make like, you know, tabletops. And it looked like that was the substance they were using. It's very toxic. You can't put that on a railroad track. I mean, what if an animal comes by and chews on it? I mean, this is our home. This is the Catskill Mountains. Let's protect it. I understand business, I get it, but I just want to see support from our town officials. And I would really, really appreciate that. Thank you.
Beth? Rob?
Yeah, I'd just like to ask you, is there anybody in the town that's making more than they are by resolution? Is anybody receiving more or higher rate of pay than they have through resolution? Anybody? No?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so as town supervisor, you're stating that there's nobody on payroll that's making more than what is stated in resolutions by the town board.
Per hour, you're
Yeah,
talking?
per hour, salary, whatever,
Yeah,
making the same rate of pay as they were setting in resolution, right?
yeah.
Okay, just asking a question. Thank you.
Okay. Any other public comments? Okay. I'd like to adjourn the meeting in the memory of Robert Ippoliti. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have a good month.